All right, well, we're jumping on to Closing the Ring, World of War 85 from the Storming the Gap box. One of the scenarios in there. And it sets up with the objective is any one of these hilltop hexes in this area here for the Soviets, okay, for the Warsaw Pact, trying to break around the frontal forces there and take that hill. I guess they were bypassing whatever position this was for the NATO forces. And this one has nothing but Americans on the NATO side on the defense, and Czechoslovakian and Soviet Union forces. So you you gotta love the end of turn cards here, cause when they just pop up. So the first turn here, when we executed the first turn, the Soviets did not even get a chance to activate their three reinforcing formations that were coming on the board. So the Americans got a breather on that one. They had an infantry unit over here, which is sitting under this disrupted marker right here. He was up one hex, and he held off all of that stuff and caused some casualties while allowing time for the American forces to sort of react to that side. All right. Then turn two comes around, and everybody got to execute. The Russians only get one formation card for each one of their units, whereas the Americans have two for every one of theirs. But now there's Russian armor. Granted, it doesn't compare to the American armor that's on the map, but they're coming in heavy amounts. And then all this mechanized infantry is coming on in their BMPs. One thing that I knew from being over in Germany in the 80s for like 7 years, BTRs were cute to look at, but boy, they were just paper targets. And they've lost actually quite a few of them here. I think they've lost 6 of them already. An infantry squad. The Czechs have lost a BMP or two. Well, they've lost a couple and a couple infantry to go with them, because when a transport vehicle takes a hit, depending on what it is, if they get disrupted, the infantry that's with them is going to be disrupted too. But then you're going to, if they take a step loss, then you're going to roll the dice to see if they take a step loss. If the vehicle gets eliminated, then you're going to roll the dice to see if they get eliminated, or they just take a step loss and disrupt. And of course, the Americans have lost a 901, which sucks because that's a powerhouse of a weapon, and an APC. So nothing big on that one right there. But they're putting up a staunch defense over here on the right side, which is above all the city hexes right here. But now we got to start worrying about this left side. We may have to shift tanks, which the Americans only have 4 units maybe with armor in them. And they got some ground-mounted tow missiles, some dragons. The problem is these dragons ain't able to fire yet because they got it within 4 hexes. Well, they can shoot out to 8, but it would cost them so. And these are wire-guided, optically sighted wire-guided missiles, so you got to keep your eye on them when you're shooting them. But yeah, that's we're through two turns. It's a 12-turn scenario. We'll see if we get that far in this thing here. We're going to drive right on. Talk to y'all soon. All right, well, we made it into the 6th turn, which for the Americans means A10. A10 Warthog, close air support. Russian artillery, they get a little more. The Americans got a little bit more. So big push came down this left side over here, and the Russians are up on they've got some units up on the objective hill. But the objective is they need to clear off the hill, and there can be no American units on that hill structure at the end of the game, okay? Couple of M1 Abrams, 3 or 4 actually showed up over here from their reinforcements to get into the fight. And they put a quick hurting on the Czechoslovakians and some of the Soviet motorized or mechanized infantry here. Had to pull back over here because I needed these 2 tanks, these 2 or 3 tank units that are over here. I needed to pull them back, get them back here towards the objective, and get up on this high ground and defend. And so with having to pull them back because one of the infantry companies just got smoked right here on top of the hill. They're down to, well, let's see, right here. This guy here and this mortar platoon sitting right here. That's all they've got left. They got totally just roped in there. Lost a couple of 901s. The Americans are starting to take casualties now. There's a 901 section up there, a platoon up there, some infantry. Like I say, there's all those Brown company units up there messed up. And then some M113s. Those are just pot shots that the BMPs are taking until they get into sight of something else to shoot. So we pulled back. The Russians have taken that hill. That's going to give them a good promontory to, if they wanted to put some armor up there, put some of these missile, which I probably should pull these BMPs back and put them on that high ground up there where they can shoot at anything on this hill over here. Because they've got an 11 hex range, and if you're inside that range, you're going to get a -1 on the to hit. So instead of hitting on a 5, they'll be able to hit on a 4. So, you know, rolling, or on a 4, they'll be able to hit on a 3, 4, 5, or 6. So that's called, what do they call that? Not adjacent. It's called within short range or something like that. But yeah, we're chugging right along. We're going to start turn 6 and see what these A10s can do. We'll get back to y'all as we play a few more turns. See you soon.